Look at this guy. You just enjoying the great outdoors, buddy? How long are you trying to stay out here, bro? Just loving the quarantine life, aren't you? What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome back. Well, it's not a vlog. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are social distancing, all that stuff. I hope everything's going well. It's been a while since the last update, and mainly because it's really hard to film car stuff in a time like this. But this right here has become the VR area, which if you've never done VR, you've got to try it. It's an absolute gas. It is so much fun. Come here. Come on. Oh, I see you. Boom, headshot, son. What's up? Oh. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we are talking about the S2000 and the plans for it, because initially, well, let me tell you. So if you're new, this is a 2001 AP1 S2000 that I got on Craigslist for about 4,500 bucks. Body is in great condition. Interior is in great condition. The only thing it had was a blown engine, which is sitting over there now, and in there is the motor I installed, the F20C. I just did a stock. Man, that looks clean. You know what? I'm pretty stoked with that. Stock F20. I did do Skunk 2 Alpha headers because I do plan on supercharging this eventually. And just so you guys know, the premise of this build isn't like, you know, wide body, bags, anything like that. Here's to give you an idea. This is my 95 E36 M3. And it's basically an OEM plus build. So it has an S54 swap. It's lowered, it's not slammed. It's got kind of like some competition style wheels, big brake kit. Everything's done to it basically. And that's kind of what I'm going with the S2000. Almost like a S2000 Type R build, so to speak. So I'm not gonna go slamming it. I'm not gonna do anything crazy, but I want it to be a very clean, mature, responsible style build. I'm not gonna have the loudest exhaust. I want it to be a nice exhaust system. Doesn't wake my neighbors up or piss everyone off, especially everyone's home now, so really don't want to do that. That's kind of where I'm at now. So I'm gonna pull it out of the garage, go find somewhere to walk around and film it a little bit more for you guys so I can show you guys exactly what type of condition this is in currently. So here's what we got. Basically bone stock S2000. You saw the engine, just replaced that. The only aftermarket thing there is the header, and then I did do the intake box mod. So I'll show you. I think I made a video on that, but for the most part, completely stock. Now things that need to be changed. I'm going to change these wheels and tires. Not going to be standard AP1 wheels, but I think I'm going to go with AP2 version 1 wheels. I just like those. They're wider. They're 17s, and you can fit 245s in the rear, so that's fine with me. The paint on it, I don't know if you can tell, but the paint has some swirls, and I'm gonna do a paint correction on this, but for the most part, the paint is really good. There's a few chips, but not many, and I have touch-up paint for that. Now, there's two door dings that I don't know if you'll be able to see. They're right around, here's one right there. I could feel it, I couldn't see it. So it's almost right where, it's right there. I don't know if they'll be able to fix that because it's on that crease. Then there's another one back here somewhere. So I want to get those taken care of. And then for the body, you know, basically it. Because I really don't want to do too much body-wise to it. I'm going to do wheels, I'm going to do tires, I'm going to do a drop. Even the drop that I do isn't going to be huge. I have suspension coilovers that I'm going to put on it probably this week. So that'll change that. And then I found the AP2 version 1 wheels that I want. I'm just waiting to go get them from the guy. And then this top is toast. So I need to replace the top. And you can see big hole here. This is completely shot. I mean, the top is in absolute horrible condition. Now I'm debating on replacing the top myself. I don't think I want to do that, but with what's going on right now, I'm not going to be able to find someone to do it for me for probably a month. and I would like to get that done. I have a Robbins cloth, I believe it's cloth, one of the more expensive Robin replacement tops with a glass rear window. So I'm going to put that on there. Someone's going to put that on there. I'm not sure if it's going to be me or not. I'm thinking after the drop and the AP2 V1 wheels, I want to do spoon calipers up front, and that'll probably take care of braking. It already has stainless steel lines. Then I'm gonna do an exhaust, and I already have a test pipe. And then from there, I'm thinking probably just slap a supercharger on it and maybe call it a day. I may do a Cusco 4-point cage in that blue to match the spoon calipers, because I think that'd look really, really sick. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that yet. And then from there, I don't know if I'll do much else. Let me know in the comments if there's more that you would do, maintenance work or just normal stuff that you would take care of. Because again, I don't want to go overboard with this. S2000s are a great platform, right? The problem with S2000s is, even if I do supercharger and make this perfect S2000, the most I'll probably be able to get for this is probably like 15 to 17 grand. S2000s just don't really hold their value that well with modifications, which is a hard thing to do. One other thing I already forgot was I'm doing a OEM AP1 front lip. So that will be put on. And actually found a guy who would paint it for me. He kind of does his own paintwork stuff. So I'm actually picking that up from him today, which I gave it to him yesterday, which is an amazing turnaround in my mind. So I'm gonna do OEM front lip. Probably not it's got the rear spoiler, which I like. And then I really think I'm just gonna keep this one simple. Yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. I mean, there's a million ways to build this thing, but again, building an S2000 is kind of hard. You know, the M3, with everything I have into it now, I could probably sell this car for 25, maybe 30-ish, maybe 20. I don't know, we'll see what the market says, but I wouldn't take an absolute bath on it. Whereas if I put, say, 20 grand into the S2000, regardless of that, the most I'd be able to sell this for is probably gonna be 15 to 17 grand when I'm all said and done. That's supercharger, new clutch, I mean, that's everything. I mean, so, I don't know, I don't wanna go overboard, but let me know what you guys think. All right, boys, so you saw what the car's like now. I'm planning on like this quarantine lockdown time being like, let's just install all the parts on the S2000. I mean, why not? Even if I can't go out and test it on track, I gotta get stuff done on this, and I really just wanna get this car done, and well, moving forward, I don't want this whole lockdown quarantine thing to keep me from working on this just because I wanna get some lap time. So, it's not gonna work out for this project, but one of the first things that I'm going to install, I got super lucky finding an OEM AP1 front lip. This thing was brand new in box. The first thing we're gonna do, figure out how to install this. And I don't think it should be that hard, but I got the instructions that came with it too. It's awesome. I mean, these things aren't cheap, but they're just impossible to find. And if you can find one, you're just gonna have to pay for it. So, anyway, let me get to installing this. I'll let you know how it goes. All right, boys, there we have it. Well, let me shut this. Dude, that looks so good. It fits perfect. Fits great on there. I can't wait to get this thing on the ground. Yeah, that is exactly what I was looking for. So that'll be awesome, super easy. If you guys want the instructions, let me know. I mean, it's very self-explanatory, and it's gonna differentiate from lip to lip, but yeah, I've wanted a factory AP1 lip for a while because they're just perfect. I think it complements the car perfect. Oh yeah, boys, it's coilover time. All right, so in the spirit of just knocking stuff out on this S2000 while I'm in quarantine or in isolation or lockdown, wherever it is, whatever it is, I have had these HKS Hypermax coilovers for quite a while. And again, part of my plan with this was to go to the track. go to the track, set a lap time, see how it goes on the stock coils, come back, change the coilover, you know the deal, I've told you about that. But since that's not gonna be able to be done, since we won't be able to approach it like that, I'm just gonna start installing everything I have on it and transform this thing from a stock AP1 to a pretty fun AP1 while we're in lockdown. So, I've read reviews on coils. I read a lot of reviews on the HKS Hypermax, and they're supposed to be a pretty good coilover. Now I got those for, I want to say they're around 13 to 1500 bucks, something like that. But again, they're supposed to be a better coilover than some cheapies. It's supposed to be good ride, good spring rate, everything like that. So went with those. From what I've seen, installing S2000 coilovers is really not that tricky. So I'll try and do a little how-to on it. I'll probably do one side first so I can get the routine down, and then maybe talk you through the other side, but it doesn't look that complicated. So I'm gonna get started on this, and it's already jacked up from doing the work yesterday, and we'll see how it goes. All right, boys, so here's what we got. From what I know, you take off this mount for the brake line, which looks like a 10 or a 12 millimeter right there. And then what you're gonna do is disconnect the strut from the control arm there, and disconnect the upper control arm here, which will allow this hub assembly to rotate forward, and you'll be able to pull the strut out after you loosen it from up here. I believe that's what you do. I'm not entirely sure yet, so don't quote me. All right, so that really was really easy actually. So it's just these two upper control arm bolts, the brake line holder right down there, and then just take out the bolt that holds on the strut at the bottom. And that's easy. I mean, that's, wow, super easy. Oh, baby. All right, boys, and just like that, it is good to go. I mean, it's a really, really simple process. Again, it's those two upper control arm bolts, the bolt that holds in the strut. Once you take out those upper control arm bolts, this folds forward. I mean, you can slide the new strut in there easy. The same nuts up top for that, and then you just make that bracket right here for the new brake line holder mount, and use supplied hardware, and you're good to go. These little spacers go on the outsides of the bottom of the strut, so they go right here on the outsides of each one. And then these, since you no longer have this mounting point right there, you no longer have this nut, that goes on this side instead, so that will then replace that nut. So super easy, super self-explanatory, not much to it, good to go. All right, boys, so got the driver's side done. Remember, driver's side is left side, passenger side is right side, like you're sitting in the car. That's how you want to judge that. So got all this tightened up again, same thing. Yeah, top control arm bolts right there, come down, this swings forward. It's super simple, not much to it. This is a very easy coilover installation. I mean, if I'm doing everything right, it's easy. So now the rear. In the rear, you have to disconnect the fuel filler cap, the fuel tank hose, the fuel where you put gas in. You have to disconnect that in order to make room to get to the top of the struts where the struts are mounted. So I believe that's the hardest part with that, but I've never done it. So I'm gonna make my way to the back, take off the tires, and see how it looks. So the sway bar connects to the lower control arm, and there is this bolt right here. Let's see here. Well, there we go. And it has a T30 Torx in the middle of it, and you're gonna need to hold that in place with the T30. And then I haven't checked yet, that looks like a 13 or 14. It's not a 13. All right, so it's a 14 to loosen that. So you're gonna need a T30 Torx, and you're gonna hold it. Let's see if I can do this with, I need like 4 hands. All right, so you're gonna set up something a little like this. You got the T30 Torx in there with the wrench around the nut itself. So let me try and do this with both my hands. You'll see the strut is right there and then right there, and that's the side where you're gonna have to take the fuel filler hose and kind of compress it and move it out of the way, because it's a big pain in the butt to get there with that in the way. So I'm working on this one right now because it is much easier. All right, boys, good to go. Yeah, that one really wasn't that bad either. I mean, that one, the sway bar in link down there that you kind of need to the T30 and the 14 mil. I mean, it's kind of a pain, but not really. Yeah, altogether, this is really simple. Got one more side to do. It's the gas tank side, so let's go knock that out. All right, so this is what we're talking about, boys. I took the 8 millimeters off there, and now this will compress. At least it's how they do it in the movies. This you can compress in to give you access point to those strut tower nuts up there. So I'm gonna get both my hands, and oh yeah, you're gonna want to take this one out too, right here. All right, that took a little bit of effort, but you can see it does kind of pull out, and you can kind of get it out of your way. It doesn't create a ton more room to get those nuts off, but it does create some. All right, so the HKS kit comes with this little knob right here that you connect to the top of the strut. Right there, you can see it connects to the top of the strut, and then it kind of just sits up high so you can have an access point to actually tighten and loosen that strut, since it'll basically be, you'll be unable to get it. So it's kind of a pain in the butt to get in there, but I would recommend putting it in there just so if you do want to change the rebound or compression or anything like that, you can do it. All right, then once you've installed that, you can move the fuel filler cap back to here, put the 8 millimeter bolts, and you'll be good to go. Wrap it up. All right, so now it's wrapped up. I mean, that's really a simple install job. What do those zip ties need to be used for? I'm not sure. So I haven't set the height yet. I'm gonna wait to do that. I have to actually run some M3 parts over to a buddy. Actually, the same guy who painted that lip is gonna be painting some stuff for the M3. That'll be on the next video. That's gonna do it for this one, guys. The HKS GT Hypermax, or Hypermax GT4, I think. Those guys. I mean, the quality seems like it's there. The install on an S2K is really not bad. So if you're attempting to do this, I really wouldn't worry about it. It's not hard at all. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are avoiding all the chaos out there. I hope everyone's feeling good. And hopefully we'll be able to get back to some good old track content soon. But until then, I think the plan is to basically work on the S2 as much as I can, see how far I can get on this build. And then, like I said, I do have some really cool upgrades coming for the M3, which I am really stoked about because, gosh, I just love this car. They're just two, I can't wait to compare these two because they're completely different. If you're new to the channel, guys, smash that subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. I know you guys got a lot going on, but hopefully these will help. And if you're building one of these cars, you know, ask me questions, drop me a comment below. Anyway, guys, smash that like button if you like this type of video and if you want to get back to track content, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.